Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. This time I have a Seminole Ridge High School Army AJROTC Tandem. Now, I say tandem, but most competitions, a lot of people call them duels. D-U-A-L. It sounds way too much like D-U-E-L, which is 10 paces out, turn, and fire. Or swords, even. Um, so I just don't appreciate a duo doesn't really sound all that great. That's more of a kind of a dance or that type of performance, um, even singing. That's a term for that. So a tandem really works, I think, much better. It sounds it you understand what it means almost immediately. Dual is kind of, for me at least, it's just kind of weird. So I'm going to probably forever say tandem. Anyway, let's get into what's going on here with the team. Now, in order for me to cue this up, the video plays a couple of seconds. I stop it, and so if you hear Max, he's our our pit. He went swimming and he's cleaning himself up. Anyway, so if you hear anything like that, that's Max. So uh, anyway, I was able to listen to a couple of seconds, and then I enlarge it, I stop it, and go through all that. So the lead cadet here um, is calling forward march over his right shoulder. The, that's typical. That's very typical. It's not bad. It's just typical. So what what especially tandems need to understand is that you need to get out of the regulation drill thinking. Yes, it's proper to say forward march because the person behind you is going to step off with you at the same time. You need to do something else. So either you face each other or you are side by side, and there's all kinds of things that you can do. But one of the things that I especially notice is that it's just forward march and you're going in ready to perform. I don't know what happened after that. I've only listened to a couple of seconds. So the forward march is just a dead giveaway that you're fairly new to this. It's also a dead giveaway that you're not necessarily understanding the performance requirements of drawing the attention of the audience, etc. And I mean, there's all kinds of requirements that I can go through, but let's just concentrate right now. So, and I've referenced this before, the 7 parts of an exhibition drill performance, and that the first thing is poor Max. The first thing is an opening statement. So you don't have an opening statement here. You have forward march, and that's it. So that that kind of that can leave your audience wanting. Just, oh, all right, well, let's see what happens. It's there's an expectation there of, okay, we'll see what goes on. And I'm not talking necessarily about the judge. I'm talking about others who are around you. Yeah, sure. I'm at drill meets all across the country. They look like this, and I'm pointing at my screen right now. There's nobody looking at performances except the judge, maybe 1 or 2 team members, but there's judges, and that's pretty much it. And I get it. I understand that. You're out there, you're performing, you're doing your thing, and it would be great if you had an audience. And I would love it if more people would come out to drill meets like this, set up some chairs and just watch, because it's fun, honestly, to watch. The cadets put in so much hard work. Anyway, okay, now I appreciate this The single left hand spin, this is good. Didn't know necessarily what to do with the right arm there, but that's okay. You could have pinned it, or you could have incorporated arm swing. Arm swing probably wouldn't be all that effective, and you, as you're spinning and bringing your arm forward, here I'm spinning here, bringing my arm forward, you might smack your right hand there with the rifle. So probably pinning your right at your side is a good thing. Now, when I say pin, I don't necessarily, you need to march with suspended arm swing. That's a better explanation. If I say pin, then you think of it's right there, it's on my on my hip, and my hand is not going anywhere. Well, it goes back and forth with your hip, and it looks bad. So you need to march with suspended arm swing, which means, and so this is your thigh, this is your hand, this is where your hand is, and your thigh, you're marching, you're going back and forth, or you're marking time, going up and down like that, and your hand stays just like that. It's just barely off the thigh. You can probably feel the excuse me. You can probably feel the material of your trouser leg passing by. So a little bit of a surprise move here. It looked like you didn't have a lot of practice going on to back up your performance. So it showed here with the trailing cadet here not being in sync there. So okay, you're out of step. Now, I appreciate the signal there, the audio signal that you had with the, I could hear that the movement took place, and I appreciate these this stance as well. That's something thought up. It's a little bit out of the box. Still, you're at present, which is fine. That's not a big deal. The cadet in front is at a Queen Anne type of kneeling position. I was going to say stance for a second, but it's not a stance. And then crossing the rifle over, it looks good. It really is. And this is a basic entrance of up, over, and then even over again. So you're making a tiny U shape, but the L shape, very common. And I suggest that teams get away from the L shape, and soloists as well. So you can start off to where one enters and comes over here, and then you both come and meet in the middle. I mean, you can create all kinds of ideas just by imagining something completely different. Oh, so the cadet behind is reporting in. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's cool. So repetition of the entrance a little bit there, but again, that's very typical when you're brand new, and that's okay. That's fine. You're feeling out what you can do. Okay, good. A little bit of a liberty there. Hi, Max. So flanks. You've got flanks, you've got rear marches in here, you're going to port, you're going to right shoulder, and I get that. That's fine. But out of the box thinking really needs to happen. The about face there. And see, and then here, this flank here, a flank here, or I should say pivots, and then more pivots. That's good. That really is. It's the ability to think of something different. Okay. Nice exchange. It worked. Some mirror work. Oh, okay. So report out. So in the request for this, and you're performing out at least a little bit, and that's good. I appreciate that. So, oh, good. Max is lying down now. So, opening statement, do your thing, and there's, read about all those parts in the article, and I'll post a link below. But then also performing out and then giving a closing statement, and I'll finish up the video in just a second here. That's a good thing. So I can see the thought process here of you wanting to do something different, but I can see that vocabulary is low, which is fine. That doesn't, you don't necessarily have to have the best marching vocabulary and especially rifle vocabulary at this point in your spinning career. It can be just the basic stuff, getting a couple of performances in a competition under your belt, and that's good. That's just fine. That's all right. So what I suggest now is more work in learning something different with the rifle, and then trying to link everything that you learn. You have the single-handed left-hand spins. That works well. So what you need to do now is learn how to stop the spin anywhere you want, and then effectively stop it, not just kind of which is what I saw earlier. So once you effectively stop it, then let's say you stop here, the rifle's horizontal, here's the barrel. And so now what do I do? What am I going to do from here? Am I going to let go with the left and bring the rifle around, pushing it down a little bit, bring the rifle around into something different that maybe, bring it around and then catch it here on the butt, near the small of the stock, and then you could bring it then down to port, which is a comfortable position. But you learn something, you learn something new, and then you perfect it, and then you go on and you learn something new, and then you perfect that, then you learn something new and you perfect that. But each time you learn something new, then learn how to link it together with something else. All right, you can have all kinds of separate pieces of movements, separate movements, separate tricks, really, and then you think, well, now I can do this trick. I can do 10 tricks, let's say, and so I'm ready to go out. Well, you really haven't planned anything. You have the 10 tricks. That's great. Can you link them together in a logical sequence? But one of the things that even the service drill teams will do is they'll illogically sequence things together, and that happens all the time. And I can give you an example. Coming from right shoulder, bringing the rifle out and then dropping it down and then starting a spin. The movement, you're working on this plane, hi Max, and then you're working on this plane, but there's a disconnect in the transition unless you're actually going to bring the rifle out and then turn it so that it drops down. Just coming to port and then dropping down looks odd, but if you bring the rifle out, let's say, along the plane here, and then keep it in that plane, and then turn it so that it is, and now I'm going very slowly, but you can imagine a much faster tempo. You turn it so that now you're working on this plane in front of you. That's going to work much better than just shoulder down. It doesn't, that transition of that angle doesn't really work together, work well at all, together with pretty much anything else you're going to do. So you have to think of the logical sequencing for your, let's say, like we were talking about, 10 tricks, and then once you get those 10 tricks logically sequenced, then now you need to map everything out on the floor. You can use my DrillMaster routine mapping tools. They're free to download. They're the size of a 100 by 100. I've got that's for a team, and then I've got the 30 by 30, which is for a solo. And I've got several other sizes of even a football field. Oh no, not a football field, a basketball court. I have a basketball court, and I even have a 2 and 4 lane highway. So you can map out whatever you want to do on a parade. So, okay, Max wants to go out of my office. So hold on just a second. All right. Now, I know I've been, it's only 16 minutes that I've been talking about a 2-minute performance. But now, getting back to that mapping, you map out what you're going to do, and try to think of something different. After you create your opening statement, try and think of something different that creates movement, rather than entering the box here, going up and over, and then facing and reporting in. Why not an angle over? Why not coming in and making an arc around? You don't necessarily have to stay centered on the judge. You can report in from 2 different corners if you want to, since you're a tandem. So there's all kinds of ideas that you can create, and give the audience, which might just be your judge, but give the audience something to remember you. That's one of the key things that helps me when I'm judging. I can watch solo after solo after solo after solo, or team after team after team, and really nothing makes them stick out unless it's a really poor performance. Then there's maybe 1 or 2 teams that do something different, do something that is effective in capturing my memory at that moment, and I can go, oh yeah, I remember that team. They're the ones that did and hopefully it's the positive. A lot of times I won't say negative, but it's more of a something that is just not effective at all. I've seen teams in their exhibition drill, they'll just make a long follow the leader, and maybe do something ripple through the follow the leader line, but it's just a time waster. That's all they're doing, is performing to at least have something on the field for the performance, get some sort of score, so that they're in the running for whatever else. And I get that. I understand that. I might not agree with it, but I do understand it. So doing your best and putting forth a quality product is always going to be better. All right, so let's see what happens here. All right, so no closing statement. That's okay. You really want to capture your audience with that opening statement, perform all the way through, and then give it a little exclamation point with a closing statement as well, instead of just fall out. And don't fall out the normal, usual, everyday way. Do something different. All right, so Austin, thank you so much. You keep submitting videos and then apologizing. Okay, last one or last 2, it's fine. Keep sending them. That's okay. You're learning, and I love that. I really do. And I will just keep making critiques. Even if it's just one school, I will keep making critiques. All right, thank you.